Alright, time to get back into this. Been a couple of days. Let's pick up here. We took the dungeon to the ship, or the dungeon that's riding the boat. That was pretty cool. Now we pick up from here. Long felt that I could never tell anyone when I was confused or hurting, that admitting to weakness would bring shame to Papa's name. But if you say you're willing to listen, then there are things I'd like to talk about. Come on, let's catch up to the others. Gotta say that first dungeon was pretty crazy. We should stop here for the night. I understand the desire to rush ahead, but we need to recuperate from our punishing river adventure. Then let's settle in. We'll need a cook fire, and there's meal preparation to be done. Oh, time for a cutscene.
I've been meaning to ask, but how does one become the adopted child of the Dawn Servant?
I was but a ball of fuzz at the time, so I don't remember much. My earliest memories are of life in the palace. All I know is that I was born in Ikbrash, a village in Yaktel. But I've never bothered to return there. As far as I'm concerned, Ulul Jaja is my only parent.
I quite understand. I have no memories of my birth parents either. For a while, I wanted to learn who they were. But over time, that curiosity waned. Galuf was my dear grandfather, and he was all I needed.
So our situations were quite similar. Even though Papa already had a trueborn son, he raised me and Kona with no less love. One time, I'd wandered off alone into the forest and gotten lost. Before I became a meal for some beast, Papa dropped everything and came to my rescue. I was scared and sobbing and ready for a scolding, but the head of resolve praised me for surviving the ordeal. I did get my lecture from the head of reason, though. He went on and on about the dangers of the jungle and all the horrible ways I could have died. Growing up, Papa was kind and patient, but a tyrant when it came to training. Now, of course, I realize he was preparing me for my duties as a promise. For all the good it did. There's so much I failed to learn about my own country. Whether it's alpacas or Ihihana, I hardly know anything. I've lived such a sheltered life, yet convinced myself I understood Tural and its people. I don't have Kona's education, or Zoralja's strength. I'm all bluff and bravado, not fit to bear my title.
Aww. Can't measure your worth by the success of others.
Don't compare myself to my siblings, you mean? I think I see what you're saying. My reasons for joining the contest have nothing to do with my brothers. It's always been about the Turali and what I can do for them.
You said it yourself. How important it is to properly know something. To hear the voices of others, empathize with how they feel, and think how best to serve. In so doing, you'll come ever closer to being the person you wish to be.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've been a fool. From this moment on, I'll stop trying to be the promise I'm not. I won't feign strength to hide my weaknesses. Step by step, I'll learn all there is to know and love about Tulihyolal and my fellow Turali. It might not be the smoothest path, but it'll be a path of my own making. I will find the City of Gold for all of us, along with the answers you seek about your grandfather, Kryl. I swear.
I appreciate it, Wuklamart. But you needn't take on that burden as well. Galuf Baldessian dedicated his life to protecting people from all manner of threats. As his granddaughter, I wouldn't wish to endanger others for the sake of a personal investigation. So let's just concentrate on winning the contest. We have a shared goal, and, if at all possible, I'd rather we enjoy the journey.
Hear, hear. We are companions on the same road, bound for the same destination. With our combined talents, nothing will stop us from reaching the Golden City.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am proud to call you my friends.
Meanwhile, in the second promise, it's camp.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am proud to call you my friends.
They seem to be enjoying themselves. Are you sure you don't want to go and say a word to your sister?
Nay, there is no need for that. But what of you two? Wuklamat's allies are your comrades. It must feel strange to be rivals.
Helping you has made us rivals, aye. But we're not about to break into fisticuffs over it. Unless, of course, it is a matter of winning or losing the contest. Then I'll have no qualms about putting Alizé on her rear.
Despite our long history, never have I been given the chance to test myself against our companions. The thought stirreth within me a most unexpected sense of competition.
Lamachi has surrounded herself with distinguished figures indeed. One of the Studium's finest graduates, the head of the students of Bardessian. And then, there's Eorzea's vaunted champion. If he's half the hero you say, then the odds are stacked against us. Not that I've any intention of bowing out. Our time in Urkelpacha only served to strengthen my resolve. We saw how a single storm cut off the alpaca roots and threw my people's lives into disarray. Such uncertainties are why I advocate for the adoption of Sharlayan innovations, that Tulihyolal might know greater stability and prosperity. Our nation can change for the better. And I will be the man to change it.
Well, it's a start. I imagine your experiences on this journey, all the things you'll hear and feel and think, will help you refine that approach.
Hear, feel, think.
But to return to the subject of the rite, I'm a touch concerned by the condition for victory. The claimant who breaks the seal becomes Dawnservant, not the one who performed the 7 feats first.
The would-be victor need only possess the 7 keystones.
That is correct. As the contest wears on, we must brace ourselves for greater conflict.
Meanwhile, the first promise.
Your rivals still lag behind. The second and third promise may have recruited competent lackeys, but none compared to you. How can they hope to compete with the resilient son? The only child ever sired by a two-head. Only the ignorant or foolish could fail to see that you were born to be Dawnservant.
Such titles mean nothing.
I neglected to mention. When I first heard the rumors that the contest involved the Golden City, I spoke in confidence with Gulul Jaja's inner circle. They all agreed on one thing. Whoever reaches the City of Gold will attain a power so great, it can dictate the course of history. If this power truly exists, then I humbly beg a fair share of it. Time is passing, and I would put my plans in motion without delay. The useless tool is cast aside after all. And just so there is no misunderstanding, you consent to this course, no matter who is made to suffer.
Ooh. What's going on here?
In battle, everyone bleeds. The Dawn's promise is no exception.
Whoa.
What better lesson to teach our people the folly of war?
Something's going on. Earlier with Bakul Jaja.
I was hoping for a good scrap, but this bloated sack of bile was no challenge at all. I wonder if the house cat is dead yet. Be ashamed to lose a plaything, but we'd still have 2 more.
If I may ask, Chosen One, what are your plans for Tuliolal after you take the throne?
Plans? What makes you think we care about all that? We care only about the contest and proving our superiority. That would surely please Mother and Father. Yes, and when we become Dawnservant, we'll drive out the weakling masses and invite our kin to live in the city. Fine idea! Our family deserves better than that rotten jungle. Back to it then. We must catch up to that one-headed pretender and remind him of the natural order.
I made it.
I thought we were missing someone. Where have you been?
Oh, I feared I was done for when I fell from the boat. Yet somehow I made it. Oh, my arms, I can barely lift them. If I could just rest a moment.
You expect us to wait for you? Those who can't keep up will be left behind. My brother has spoken. March, or be fodder for the beasts.
But I followed the teachings. Everything I've done, everything I've sacrificed, all has been for the blessed seedlings. Wait. Don't leave me behind! I'm begging you!
Being able to say those things has brought me such relief. It's like a stone has been lifted off my chest, and I can take a full breath at last. I don't want to encumber myself like that again. I want to be better, will be better, for myself and my people. You may now enter the dungeon with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, blah 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 blah. Okay, what's he got to say? A leaking work pot. The Moblin settlement of Earthenshire is not far from here, but be warned, the road we'll be taking is a favored hunting ground for bandits. The stairs currently impassable, there will be fewer travelers, meaning the brigands will be desperate for victims to ambush. Although considering present company, I suppose my concern is unwarranted. Bandits on the road? What have Zoralja and the Landsguard been doing? Seems it's up to me to restore order to the area. And off she goes again. For now, we'll head west and aim for the bank of the second river. Let's talk to this guy real quick. Alright, there's an ether current over here someplace. Well, where are these bandits? Apparently they're not foolish enough to attack a party of this size. Earthenshire is just a little farther ahead, on the opposite bank of whatever. But let's remain vigilant at all the same. There it is. seems like it's over there. Yep, there it is. Now I see it. Huh. I guess the road's over there. Probably ought to follow that. Yeah, I'll come talk to you in a minute. Get this. Nope. And we're attuned. Oh. This is it, the village where the Lay of Pots from the Tuliolal saga took place. Earthenshire, Idleshire, might the similarity be a cultural inclination, I wonder? The settlements themselves couldn't be more different, though. This shire appears custom built to resemble Pots, while the other is a repurposed town. Welcome to Earthenshire. Do I have the pleasure of happy greeting the third promise and her retinue? That's us. We're looking for the Dawn Servant's Elector, if you happen to know who that is. You are exchanging tongue flaps with her right now. I love the goblins. Redarock is the Elector you seek. Oh, that's helpful. We can cut straight to performing the feat. As much as Redarock would like to do just that, we have a much more pressing worry. The storm which hit our village shattered the cliffs and dropped rocks on our brain cases. Many help hands for the Potsworn were injured. No time for feats or metal tests. I'm sorry to hear that. After learning what the storm did to the stairs, I feared you'd been caught in its path. Not to change the subject, but what are the Potsworn? Goldsmiths contracted to work for the Moblins. The word comes from the pot-like workshops where they practice their craft. The Moblins provide these Potsworn with tools, materials, living quarters, everything the artisans could possibly need. This allows them to concentrate on producing what is widely known as the finest gold and metalwork in Tyrol. This is unacceptable. I was promised no distractions. If this is the best they can offer, I should have never left whatever that word is. You see, the Potsworn desert us. Without enough healthy help hands, we are failing to uphold our side of the Pot Pact. Should all our Potsworn leave, Earthenshire will grind to a halt. We have to do something, and do it soon. Then let us stand in for the injured helpers. It would give me the chance to learn more about your people and your village. And if it brings us closer to beginning the feat, then all the better. This isn't strictly part of the contest, so don't feel obligated to join in. Take a rest while you can. Of course I'll help, even though I really could use a nap. I was hoping you'd say that. Actually, I wasn't sure I could do this on my own. We'll all help. I doubt any of us could just sit around and watch. We'll take every help hand we can get. Rock, truth. Aw, man. Click the button. You and the third promise can assist help hand Rock. You other four follow Rock. There are other help hands in need of hand lending. I really appreciate you pitching in. I meant what I said at many fires. There'll be no more feigning strength, no more playing at being an invincible promise. There's one thing I've learned on this journey, it's how practiced you are at aiding those in need. And I mean to make the most of having such an incredible mentor at my side. Now let's find this Rock fellow and see what we can do for him. Rock can't meet his obligations without more help hands. The pot pact is broken and the pots are emptying. You've come to aid Rakarok. Rakarok accepts your hand lending with joyous feel smiles. We can offer the Potsworn their promised good living. We might save the day yet. Whatever you need. I wonder if, nope. Alright. Rakarok needs help learning about the Potsworn, blah blah blah. What Rakarok needs is for new help hands to create good living for Potsworn Kahi. The help hand assigned to Kahi was hurt during the rock raid, so Rakarok took over, but he knows nothing of Kahi. What does Kahi want? What does Kahi need? Help hands do not bother the Potsworn with straight tasks. Our job is to observe and anticipate, to prepare things with guessthink. Please, guessthink with Rakarok. Find out what Kahi is lacking so we can provide it. You can count on us. Speak with Wukalamat. This is where Kahi works, is it? Let's take a peek inside then. Uh-oh. Cutscene time. That must be Kahi. It'd be a lot quicker if we could just talk to him, but that's not the way they do things around here, apparently. We'll have to leave him be and try our hand at some guess think. Okay, we gotta look around now. Let's see. Those tools are looking pretty worn down. Maybe it's time for some new ones. Well, he has no shortage of crafting materials. There must be something else he's missing. He's barely touched his meal. That dish is meant to be eaten hot, or it loses its savor. He must be boiling, sitting so close to the furnace, and there's no airflow to speak of. How could anyone work in that stifling heat? Alright, after taking a good look, I think I have an idea of what things Kahi might want to improve his working conditions. Let's head back outside and talk to Rakarok. You made your observations? What did you guess think? First off, I noticed Kahi hasn't touched his food, and an empty belly can't be good for his concentration. Maybe the cooking isn't to his liking. But our food is very mouth-pleasing. Why wouldn't he want to eat it? Arg, but Rakarok is sure of nothing when it comes to Kahi's tastes. I can help you with that. My brother Kwana is also Hetzaru. While everyone has their personal preferences, there are some they tend to share. Like an aversion to piping hot dishes. If it was brought to him like that, Kahi probably wouldn't have been able to eat until it cooled down. And by the time he came back to it, he might have found it cold and unappetizing. The simplest solution is to serve dishes that taste good no matter the temperature. Rakarok never would have thought of that, with the third promise mine explaining these things to our cook. Not at all. But I don't think that was the only reason Kahi couldn't concentrate. The Hetzaru homeland is hot and dry, but even Kahi seemed to be suffering in front of that furnace. Is there any way you could cool down the workshop? Oh, we could try a drafty shard. They make a lovely breeze. Do you know where we can get one of those? You can gather them from the Shoals of No Return. There are many old boats there, abandoned by those who gave up on their search for the Golden City. So we salvage them from the wrecks. Could you handle that for us? Yes. I'll do it. Oh, and one more thing. From what I could tell, Kahi's files and saws and things were very worn down. Maybe a new set of tools is in order. Ah, Rakarok was too preoccupied with stocking materials. A serious oversight which he will rectify. Supplying good tools for good living is the help hand's responsibility. Then we all have work to do. We can meet back here when our tasks are done. The shoals of no return are past the crags, through a tunnel southeast of here. You should be able to spot the passage from just outside the village. Alright, let's go do this. Cutscene. Aren't you? What brings you out here? The issue with caring for the Podsworn. When they approached me with that same problem, I suggested they commission artisans in Charlian instead. The quality of craftsmanship would be guaranteed after all. However, the Moblins did not care for the idea. Surely it would be more effective to engage a uniformly trained collective. I cannot understand their fixation on individual contracts. Perhaps the custom will make more sense once we begin the feat of pods. Till then, we've been deemed unfit to assist in the matter of help hands, and are instead tasked with tending the injured. We were on our way back for procuring herbs for Urianger, in fact. Settlements in Kozamauka too have been isolated by the storm's destruction. What would have become of the wounded had we not found a way here? Should I become Dawn Servant, one of my first acts will be to establish reliable trade routes to the capital. When I imagine how much good we can achieve with Charlian technology, my apologies, I have much to consider. If you will excuse us. We'll meet again, I'm sure. Take care. Spot the tunnel opening, head through the passage to the shoals of no return, and recover the drafty shard. Oh. Alright, cool. Oh, there's supposed to be a ether current somewhere over here. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Where's it at? Where's it at? I'll bet you it's up there. Yep. Gonna be doing this one. Maybe if I go around. gotta kill one of those two. Cross that one off the list. I'll put that ether current's down here. There we go. There's one down here too. There it is. Doesn't appear to be the one I seek. Let's see, what about the pale blue? Also not the one I seek. Green, that's wind. Crystalline move. Alright, that's the one I'm supposed to get. Now I bring it back. Getting tired. Is that a cool breeze Rakarok feels? Yes, here's my drafty shard. Yes, thank you for finding a drafty shard. Rakarok will add it to the new set of tools he brought. And I come bearing good food tidings. The cook has prepared a feast fit for the most discerning Hetzaro, and it's on its way even as we speak. Let's go in and see what Kahi thinks of our efforts. He looks happy. I was wondering what occasion called for me to receive so many visitors. Fine meal, new tools, and a welcome source of cool air. Now I remember why I signed a pot pact. I'm grateful for your kind considerations. Allow me a moment or two and I'll reciprocate with a peace worthy of a podsworn. An oil lamp to brighten the halls of Valakshunsa. The craftsmanship satisfies Earthenshire's reputation for quality, I trust. Such luster, such brilliance. Truly a gift fit for the Dawn Servant. I'm glad you like it. Considering the time I've wasted till now, I hope to continue crafting at this improved pace. I have a contract to fulfill after all. Forgive my interruption. Lamati, I'm told the Elector has deemed the crisis past and is prepared to task us with defeat. That's great news. Thank you for letting me know. So this is the craft of a potsworn. It is indeed a masterful piece. Thank you for your words of praise, Second Promise. I drew inspiration from Kozama Uka's natural beauty and sought to capture it in my work. I wondered why the Moblins did not simply build a workshop in the city, and now I have my answer. Even Charlian goldsmiths could not easily replicate such exquisite artistry. One cannot create great things if one lacks creative impetus. Tuliolal, unfortunately, does not want for inspiration. Anyone wishing to learn the basics of a craft would do well to study it there. I was raised among Hetzaro more traditional than most, and the shared ingenuity of Tyrell's various peoples was eye-opening. You lived as a traditional Hetzaro? I have few fond memories of nomadic life. Alright. Rakarok is very grateful to you. I thank you both for your hard work and clever guessthink. When it comes to help handing, knowing the Potsworn really is important. Well, that's true for pretty much everyone you meet. A lesson I've had drummed into me several times already on this journey. Juana has details to share concerning the forthcoming Feat of Pots. The Elector bids the claimants assemble in the large building on the west side of the village. I will head over after finding Thancred and Urianger. Also, I ran into the Levier twins on the way here. I took the liberty of directing them to the venue. We're rivals. It's not his job to make sure I know the feat is starting. But even now, he's conscientious to a fault. Anyway, let's not keep Redarok waiting. Oh, I got about 5 minutes left in me and then I'm done. Redarok thanks you for assisting Helphand Rakarok. She will announce the feat once the other claimants arrive, so please be patient a little while longer. I'm happy to report that we were able to convince one of the Potsworn to stay. How did you fare? We did all that stuff. So you managed to do the same. Splendid. Welcome to Earthenshire, First Promise. We support your plans for salt crossings and the new Potsworn they will bring. Hail the mighty Zeralja. He cleared many piles of rockfall as if they were pebblestone. The resilient son for Dawn Servant. Zeralja was clearing fallen rocks? I'm surprised he would volunteer his time for anything unrelated to the contest. Well. Excuse me. Well, we meet again. Just in time for the feat to begin. I'll bet he was already here, laying low while the rest of us did all the work. Claimants, your attention please. As Redarok has explained, many of our Potsworn left us following the storm. The precious metalwork crafted by those artisans bring in much jingly shine from across the salt. Should our stream of trade goods dry up, Earthenshire will suffer. Tuliolal merchants will suffer. So Redarok sets you this feat. Each of you are to find one clever hand goldsmith to bring back here to us. So we're to recruit new Potsworn? Makes sense for the feat of Pots. Calling this a feat does not justify taking advantage of the claimants and their influence. How does finding workers for you demonstrate their worthiness for the throne? You are free to refuse Redorak's request. She will be happy to inform the Dawn Servant of Zeralja's disqualification. The right is a means to an end. The steps we take to get there are not important. Then Redorak declares the feat of pots begun. But remember, a pot pact must be agreed to willingly. No grab snatching or deceitful tongue flaps. The Elector said nothing of taking a willing artisan from a rival, which is exactly what we should do. A fine suggestion, brother. I'm glad you think so, brother. Come, let us lay our plans. That nasty brute is up to something. Aye, he may seek to delay us again as he did on the river. We can but remain vigilant while we plot our course. What do you think, Wuklamot? Have you any candidates in mind to satisfy this feat? Yeah, that guy back in the big city. I know some artisans among my supporters. They're all in their twilight years. I couldn't ask them to give up the comforts of Tuliolal to live in this remote village, no matter how beautiful the scenery. Meanwhile, Kawana probably has 100 young craftspeople to choose from. Not that I'm comparing us, you understand. That's just statement of fact. I suppose we could try asking around Wachu Meki Meki. That seems a logical place to start. Back to Tuliolal it is. Wait, does that mean we have to take the boat again? No, I can't do it. I can't stomach another boat ride. You said I should share my burdens, so I will speak plainly. The truth is, I get really, really sick on boats. Wuklamot, this is hardly news. But it was brave of you to admit. In any case, we won't be fighting the current this time. Heading downriver will be much smoother. It will? Are you sure? I'm positive. Mostly. Alright. I need a moment. Upriver or downriver? Blah 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 is too rough for me. The nausea is a bit more bearable now that I've stopped trying to hide it, but I'd still rather not set foot on a boat if I can help it. Alright, I think I'm ready. Let's see if Master Ropley can help us recruit a potsworn. this is about where I'm gonna sign off. Sorry about that. My wife and daughter came home. Greetings, Third Promise. What brings you back to Wachu Meki Meki? You've not chipped your axe again, have you? No, Master Robley. Actually, I have a favor to ask. What do you think? Do you know of any craftsmen who might be interested? Filching my artisans for the moblins, eh? Seeing as it's the Third Promise making the request, I'm willing to look the other way if one of them decide to take you up on the offer. Only I can't think of a suitable candidate off the top of my head. Who do I know with a mastery of goldsmithing that would also have no qualms about relocating to Earthenshire? That Eorzean goldsmith. What about him? That's exactly who I was thinking of. You mean Fonjontaine? He did say he was employed at some fancy jewelry store across the salt. And considering the distance he's already come, I'd like to think he wouldn't mind moving a little up the river. That said, he's only just got himself a new job. Is it too soon to ask him to sign a pod pact? There's no harm in making the offer. Once he hears how well the Podsworn are treated, he may even jump at the chance. What? Oh. I love you, Robin. Either way, you won't find John Tane at his workbench at this hour. He's finished for the day, probably enjoying a meal over at that place. Then maybe we should go and talk to him. Just you and me, since he knows us. Wouldn't want him to feel intimidated by having to deal with a crowd of new faces. The two of us can handle this. Take a rest at the cabins if you like. Right, let's go and see a man about a pod. Oh, you're here too. The third promise said she wanted to chat. I've just finished eating, so shall we find a quiet spot outside? The last time we talked on this beach, you were in a miserable state. Ahaha, yes I was, wasn't I? A lost soul. Till the two of you came along and helped me rediscover my purpose. My new place of employment has been most welcoming, and for the first time in a long time, I feel content with my Latin life. That's wonderful. So what is it you wish to discuss? Well, it's hard to ask this right after you've settled in, but I'm looking for someone to become a Podsworn. Ah, I've heard my new colleagues mention the term. That's when an artisan signs a contract to work for the Moblins, isn't it? But you're not a Moblin. I'm not sure I understand. It's for a feat in the rite of succession. I need to bring a new Podsworn to Earthenshire. So that is the way of it. We've barely met, and after pushing you to work at Wachu Meki Meki, I'm now demanding you throw that away and sign a pot pact instead. It's a selfish request, I know. I have something to tell you, Third Promise. The other day, I completed the necessary procedures for immigration. I'm pleased to say I am now an official subject of Tuliolal. I've since endeavored to learn what I can of my new nation, beginning with the right of succession and its claimants, including you, of course. Now you will recall it was my father's example which led me to pursue goldsmithing. He was at East End when Garlean forces laid siege to the settlement, and in the ensuing chaos he was slain. War took him from me in an instant, the man I loved and admired. I never wished to suffer such a loss again. And so, as much as I'm indebted to you for turning my life around, it is as a fellow peace-loving Tuliolan that I want you to win the throne. If I can help you achieve that by signing a pot pact, then I shall gladly do so. Fontaine, thank you. I shall return to Master Ropley and inform him of my decision. Allow me, I'm the reason you're leaving, so I should be the one to deliver the news. Perhaps you don't remember me. Bruck-Evu, owner of blah blah blah. I'd like a word if you don't mind. You're Wook-Lamont's ally from across the salt, right? And a hero of some renown, too, if the gossip's to be believed. Well, as it so happens, I could use some heroic help. It doesn't need to be right now, but could you come by when you have a spare moment? Much appreciated. I'll be waiting for you at my shop then. You can now gain access to role quests. Cool. Alright, gonna turn this one in. And then be done for the night. So tired. Master Ropley, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Fontaine has agreed to sign the pot pact, yes? While it is a shame to lose a capable goldsmith, to have one of our own handpicked to serve the third promise is a great honor for Wachu Meki Meki. I appreciate your understanding. Of course, if you happen to know other talented artisans, regardless of their expertise, I hope you send them my way. It could even be yourself if you're so inclined. I'll keep that in mind. Though my time here was brief, I will not forget your kindness, Master Ropley. I am blessed to have these workshops to be my first home in Tuliolao. Come back to us if the moblins cut you loose. You'll always have a job at Wachu Meki Meki. I expect you'll want to leave for Earthenshire as soon as possible. I'll go and pack my things. What became of Fontaine? Were you able to find him? We did, and he's agreed to become a potsworn. We'll leave when he's ready, but you still have a little time. Splendid, we shall meet you anon. I had plenty of reasons to win the contest, but now I have one more. Fontaine's putting his faith in me, and I won't let him down. Ooh, alright. We can do custom deliveries now. Nice. Alright. That's it for tonight. Good night. Thank you. And later.